For emergency or backup power and food storage needs, Powerful Products has it all. Check out the new Goal Zero Yeti 150 Escape Kit, the perfect on-the-go solar power kit for emergency or camping. Available only at powerfulproducts.com. Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning into AMTV, Alternative Media Television. It is February 27th, 2014 on Thursday. And you know what? I'm going to just call it straight like it is. And I call bullshit. There's been a lot of reports, Russian warships docking in Havana showing their strength. Also, Ukraine revolution, Putin puts 150,000 Russian troops on alert as the United States warns Putin, "Don't do it, Putin, or we might attack. Yeah, we might do something. We're pro-Ukraine. We want to keep Ukraine integrated, but also put them into our Ponzi scheme that makes up the European Union and the member bloc nation state of limitless indebtedness into infinity so that we own them," which we know is just total BS and total propaganda. John Kerry telling Moscow to be very careful. That's a joke. As it flexes military muscle with war games in western Russia near Ukraine's border. 150,000 vodka-drinking Russian troops on alert as U.S. warns Putin. I think this is just a show of false strength, to be honest. If you're going to do something, do something. At least North Korea actually goes out and launches short-range missiles. At least Kim Jong-un has got some nuts to actually do something. And I think this is the case of like the bully on the schoolyard. The kid that talks a lot, has the biggest mouth. He's always the weakest one. He keeps telling you he's going to fight you and he's going to beat you up. But the second you punch him right in the face, he goes crying home with a bloody nose to his mother. Those kids, I kind of feel like Russia is acting that way at this moment because it still knows that the United States, although is totally criminal in its intent, totally criminally deceptive with its intention in Ukraine, having helped to orchestrate the revolution and helped to orchestrate this civil war, still knows that it has less might militarily than the warring nation that is the United States of America today. Russian spy ship is also docked in Havana, Cuba, probably picking up some really fantastic cigars at the moment. Again, to me, I call a little bit of bullshit. This is the Cold War era propaganda tactic to try to raise alarm or to show that you have strength when you actually don't. I think where the real risk is in Ukraine isn't the 150,000 troops that are there at the moment, which is obviously alarming in and of itself. But it's not going to just spark a war. There's got to be a way that this is integrated into the system here. And what I mean by that is what would be far more likely would be Vladimir Putin to stage some kind of false flag attack or some kind of event where, let's say, for example, to give you a specific example, he put his commandos, his elite commandos, equivalent of the Navy SEALs we have in the United States, to start an attack on pro-Russian eastern Ukrainians and start some kind of violence that way to give Russia a reason to actually intervene. You see, they have to make it look, and they have to create a smoke screen in order for Russia to deploy its troops, to deploy its military, to actually use the 150,000 Russian troops on alert, or to utilize its navy in Crimea, its Black Sea Fleet in the Ukrainian area. So to me, I'm calling bullshit. This, to me, what we're seeing with the troop movements and the Russian spy ship is just really Putin trying to show force politically without really taking action. It's not that action won't be taken. It's not that we're not already at war with Russia and Russia at war with the United States. I think we just need to think a little bit more intricately about how this plays out in Ukraine, which again is an extremely complex event. And it's complex in terms of its geopolitical implications, its economic implications. Of course, we've already been over its natural gas exports in detail, and also its strategic location as a Navy base for Russia and its Black Sea Fleet. In the meantime, Ukraine leader warns Russia after armed men seize government headquarters in Crimea. So we're getting a warning from the Ukrainian leader warning Putin after armed men seize government HQ in Crimea. The ousted leader also seeking Russian aid as tensions rise. Again, we saw fist fighting in the streets yesterday and the day before. East versus West. Russia versus the East. The United States versus Russia and vice versa. So we have major troop deployment, hundreds of thousands of Russian troops on alert. We have a Russian spy ship docked in Havana. We also had another naval vessel move into the Crimea area to join with Russia's Black Sea Fleet. We have all this rhetoric coming from the United States, the Obama administration, John Kerry, all prepping for war, all moving around this international spy ring, this international spy game, and this intent for total control, global power, and the integration of Ukraine, which has always been the goal of the U.S., into the debt Ponzi scheme that makes up the European bloc, the European Union, the United Nations, the World Bank, so that they can control Ukraine via proxy, via these global New World Order elements that, again, as I've stressed time and time again, does not have the best interest of America, the sovereignty of America, or the American people or people around the world's best interest at heart. What will spark the event that will promote engagement from Russia, or that will promote a reaction militarily from the United States that is currently bankrupt and cannot afford another war? These are all very important questions. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'd like to hear your ideas. I'd like to hear your thesis on these geopolitical events as they're taking place right now. Russian warships docking in Havana, 150,000 Russian troops on alert, and Russia's Black Sea Fleet Navy in Crimea on red alert and ready for war. Get it out, make it viral, hard-hitting and in your face, February 27th, 2014.